Have you ever met someone for the very first time and felt an instant magnetic connection that you simply could not explain? Within 20 minutes of talking to them, you felt like you had known them for 20 years. You felt completely understood, completely safe, and completely aligned with their energy. You probably walked away from that interaction thinking you had just met a soulmate, a best friend, or a mentor who was destined to change your life. You might have even told your friends that the vibes were just perfect. I am sorry to be the one to break this to you, but what you experienced was not fate. It was not destiny, and it was certainly not a cosmic alignment of the stars. You were the victim of a chemical attack. You were targeted by a master of social engineering who knew exactly how to breach your brain's defensive firewalls. They flooded your neural pathways with a powerful neuropeptide called oxytocin, and they used it to systematically dismantle your critical thinking until you were psychologically defenseless. Today, I am going to teach you the dark science of trust. I am going to show you how scammers, cult leaders, and elite negotiators weaponize the biology of human connection to make you believe anything they say. By the end of this video, you will understand how to artificially manufacture deep rapport with anyone you choose, and more importantly, how to spot when someone is trying to manufacture it with you. But you must understand that this knowledge is dangerous. Once you learn how to bypass the logical brain and speak directly to the emotional core, you hold the keys to manipulation in your hands. To understand how this mechanism works, we have to look at the biology of survival. Oxytocin is often called the love hormone or the cuddle chemical by pop science articles, but that is a dangerous oversimplification. In the harsh reality of evolutionary biology, oxytocin is the molecule of tribal survival. It is the chemical that bonds a mother to her infant so she does not abandon it. It is the chemical that bonds a tribe of warriors together so they will die for one another. When your brain releases oxytocin, it suppresses the activity of the amygdala, which is the fear center of your brain. This is crucial to understand. High oxytocin levels literally turn off your ability to detect threats. It creates a biological blindness where you physically cannot see the red flags waving right in front of your face. When a con artist or a manipulator successfully triggers an oxytocin flood in your system, they are not just making you like them, they are chemically sedating your survival instincts. They are hacking the software that keeps you safe. So, how do they do it? How does a stranger walk up to you and trick your brain into releasing a chemical reserved for family and lovers? The first and most powerful method is called tactical vulnerability. This is the cornerstone of the dark science of trust. We are socialized to believe that trust takes time to build. We think trust is earned over months or years of consistent behavior. That is the slow way. The fast way, the way used by elite social engineers, is to hack the principle of reciprocity. The human brain is hardwired to match the emotional depth of the person it is interacting with. If I stay surface level with you, you will stay surface level with me. But if I reveal a painful, personal, or embarrassing secret to you, your brain feels an immense social pressure to match that vulnerability. You feel indebted. You feel that because I trusted you with something fragile, you must trust me with something fragile in return. The master manipulator initiates this cycle within minutes of meeting you. They will lean in close, lower their voice, and say something like, "Honestly, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I feel like I can trust you. I've actually been struggling a lot with my business partner lately, and I don't know who to turn to." Now here is the catch.
The secret they are telling you is a lie, or it is a calculated, pre-planned story that they have told to 100 other people before you. It is a piece of bait, but your brain does not know it is bait. Your brain hears vulnerability. It registers that this high-status person is lowering their shield for you. This triggers a massive spike of oxytocin. You feel special, you feel chosen, and in that moment of chemical warmth, you lower your own shield. You lean in and say, "I totally understand. I've actually been having issues with my job, too." The moment you confess a real weakness to them, the trap snaps shut. You have just handed them ammunition. You have given them the blueprint to your insecurities, and they gave you nothing but a fabrication in return. This is how the Tinder swindler operates. This is how investment scammers get you to hand over your life savings. They create a false intimacy so intense that your logic center shuts down and you hand over your trust on a silver platter. If you are starting to see the terrifying reality of how easily your emotions can be engineered and you want to arm yourself against these tactics, take a second right now to hit the subscribe button and like this video. We are building a community of critical thinkers who refuse to be pawns in someone else's game. If you want to understand the hidden code of human behavior and ensure you never get played again, you need to be here for every single upload. Join the top 1% of observers right now, and let us go deeper into the second phase of oxytocin weaponization. Once the manipulator has used tactical vulnerability to open the door, they move to the second phase, which is known as the mirroring protocol. You have probably heard of mirroring before, perhaps in basic sales training, where they tell you to cross your arms if the client crosses their arms. That is amateur hour. That's kindergarten stuff. Deep weaponized mirroring goes far beyond simple body language. It is about syncing your entire biological rhythm with the other person until your nervous systems are literally vibrating at the same frequency. When two people are in deep rapport, their breathing rates synchronize, their blinking rates synchronize, their tone of voice and cadence of speech become identical. This phenomenon is known as limbic resonance. It is a signal to your primitive brain that this other person is same as me. In the wild, same as me meant safety. Different from me meant danger. A master of the dark science of trust will not just copy your posture, they will listen to the speed at which you speak. If you are a fast talker who processes information visually, they will speed up their speech and use visual metaphors. If you are a slow, thoughtful speaker who processes feelings, they will drop their voice an octave, slow down their tempo, and use kinesthetic language. They will literally become a reflection of your own personality. This is incredibly intoxicating to the human ego. We are all narcissists at heart. We love ourselves more than anyone else. When we meet someone who reflects our own essence back to us, we fall in love with them instantly. We think we have found a soulmate, but we are really just falling in love with a carefully constructed mirror image of ourselves.
Let's look at how this plays out in a high-stakes negotiation or a cult recruitment scenario. The leader will observe the target. They will notice that the target uses specific words to describe their pain. Maybe the target says, "I feel like I'm suffocating in this job." The manipulator files that word away. 10 minutes later, they will say, "You know, before I started this path, I felt like I was suffocating in my old life." The moment the target hears their own specific language coming out of the leader's mouth, the oxytocin floodgates open. The target thinks, "Oh my God, he gets it. He understands me on a level nobody else does." This is the false oxytocin peak.
At this point, the target is chemically compromised. They are high on validation. If the leader then asks for a favor, a donation, or a commitment, the target will say yes without even thinking about it. They are not making a logical decision. They are acting out of a chemical compulsion to maintain that feeling of connection. The danger of this state cannot be overstated. When you are under the influence of false oxytocin, you will defend your manipulator against your own friends and family. This is why it is so hard to get someone out of a toxic relationship or a cult. Their friends on the outside are using logic. They are saying, "Look at the evidence. This person is stealing from you." But the victim is not operating on logic. They are operating on a drug-like dependency on the trust bond. Every time the outside world attacks the manipulator, the victim retreats closer to them to get that oxytocin fix, creating an us versus the world mentality that is nearly impossible to break. But here is the crucial question. How do you defend yourself against a weapon that feels so good? How do you stop someone from stealing your trust when your own brain is working against you? The answer lies in recognizing the speed of intimacy. Real trust is a slow-burning fire. It takes time to build the heat. False trust is a flashbang grenade. It is blindingly bright and instant. If you meet someone and within the first hour you feel like they are the answer to all your prayers, you need to engage your emergency brake immediately. That feeling of instant soulmate is the #1 indicator that you are being mirrored. You must train yourself to become suspicious of instant rapport. When someone shares a heavy secret with you too soon, instead of leaning in, you must lean back. You must ask yourself, why is this total stranger giving me this information? What do they want in return? You can also test the mirror. If you suspect someone is mirroring you to gain influence, break the pattern deliberately. If they are agreeing with everything you say, suddenly change your opinion. Say something slightly controversial or contradict yourself. If they immediately shift to agree with your new opinion, you know they have no core identity of their own in this interaction. They are simply a chameleon trying to blend into your environment to hunt you. When you spot this, the spell breaks, the oxytocin stops flowing, and your critical thinking comes back online. You can also use this technology ethically. Understanding tactical vulnerability does not mean you have to be a sociopath. It means you can build better relationships with your team, your spouse, or your children by being the first one to lower your guard. But there is a massive difference between genuine vulnerability used to connect and calculated vulnerability used to extract. The difference is intent. The manipulator shares a secret to get something from you. The genuine leader shares a weakness to give permission for others to be human. In the corporate world, this distinction is what separates a toxic boss from a legendary leader. A toxic boss uses false trust to get you to work overtime for free, promising a future promotion that never exists. They tell you, "You are the only one I can trust with this project," making you feel special, so you accept the abuse. A true leader uses oxytocin to build a cohesive team that actually has each other's backs. They admit when they are wrong. They show their human side, not to manipulate, but to build a culture where failure is not fatal. The mechanism is the same. The outcome is entirely different. As we reach the end of this briefing, I want you to conduct an audit of the relationships in your life. Think about the people who have the most influence over you. Think about the people you trust blindly. Now look back at the beginning of those relationships. Did they start with a slow, steady build of reliability? Or did they start with an explosion of intensity, a sudden sharing of secrets, and a feeling that you were twins separated at birth? If it was the latter, you might need to reevaluate who is actually in control of that dynamic. Trust is the most expensive currency on the planet. Do not spend it on people who are just printing counterfeit bills. You now possess the knowledge of the dark science of trust. You understand that oxytocin is not just a cuddle chemical, it is a biological backdoor into the human mind. You can use this knowledge to protect yourself from the predators who roam the social landscape, or you can use it to become a more influential and charismatic force in your own world. The choice of how you wield this weapon is entirely yours. If this video helped you see the matrix of human connection, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. This is the only place where we dissect the brutal truths of psychology without the sugarcoating. Leave a comment down below with the word oxytocin if you made it to the very end. I want to see who in this community has the attention span to learn the deep concepts. Until next time, watch your back, trust your gut, and never let them hack your chemistry.